Well, welcome to How to Be a Texan. Kevin, how in the world are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Man, I just got to pump that energy up. That's so good.
That's right. That's right.
Man, it's been a long time since I've heard that song. That's a great song. How'd you find that? How'd you find that song? You know what that sounds like to me?
You know?
That sounds like Texas.
It does sound like Texas. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. How did I find it? I Googled royalty-free country music, and that's the first thing that came up.
Too much details. You're supposed to give me
6 years ago.
You're supposed to give me a much more colorful answer than that.
Oh, okay. I'll make up a different story for a different episode.
Like I was looking at a beautiful sunset, and it came to me, or the spirit of Gene Autry, or whatever. I don't know. Just something, Kevin. Come on.
Yeah, so I was gazing out across the pasture at our place in Argyle.
As a cow was, pooping or whatever. Anyway, hey.
And suddenly there was a guitar in my hand. I don't know where it came from.
Like you could play that, Kevin. Hey, for all three listeners, Kevin's an amazing guitarist.
Well, so are you, man. You really beefed up your chops during the pandemic. You did a bunch of fingerstyle guitar.
I forgot it
all kinds of stuff.
Since we all went back to our normal lives, I forgot everything. So, hey, how to be a Texan. Let's have an episode on Texas famous people. What do you think about that, Kevin? When you think of Texas,
that sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Do you think of famous people coming out of Texas?
Yeah, man. Lots of famous people.
I do too.
J.R. Ewing.
Yeah, Gus McCrae. Woodrow
McCrae.
McCall. I mean, J.R. Ewing.
That's what I said.
Yeah, what was his brother, Dustin Hoffman? You remember?
Patrick.
Oh, yeah.
No, but that wasn't Dustin Hoffman.
Sue Ellen?
No. Sue Ellen?
Dustin. No, it was Dustin?
No.
It wasn't Dustin Hoffman. It was another Dustin.
What was his name?
I think his name was Dustin.
Okay, because on the show, his name was Bobby Ewing.
Yeah, and I think as an actor, he was Dustin something. It doesn't matter. He doesn't qualify as famous Texans. What we're talking about are real people.
Patrick Duffy.
See, I knew there was a Duffy.
He is a famous guy.
Yeah. He's probably dead now, though, right? They're all probably dead.
They're not that old, are they?
I mean, we're old, so they're in the ground. They got to be in the ground.
Let's see. He was born in 1940. No, he's age 74. He's still alive.
The average age of death for males in Texas.
He was born in Montana.
Huh. Oh, Montana's beautiful. I see now that's where Gus and Cole took the cows. First cow ranch in Montana.
It all comes.
It always comes back to Lonesome Dove. So our fact checker will appreciate that. Everything comes back full circle to Lonesome Dove. Just so you know. So.
Yep.
Anyway, I can't wait to hear back from the fact checker on that one. So, not that it has anything to do with Patrick Duffy. Hey, today I thought we would talk about famous people from Texas. We've got an article that Kevin and I are going to react to, and it's 100 famous people. We're not going to talk about 100. We'll try to talk about, I'm thinking the top 25. We could probably hit that, right?
Yeah. Or some of the surprises. I mean, I found this article last week. I was just kind of Googling crap. And I started looking. It said 100 famous people from Texas. Okay. Yeah. So I opened it up. There were a lot of people in here that I had no idea. Well, there were a lot of surprises.
Yeah, but before you get biased, who do you think, in your opinion, who's the most famous Texan ever? Without looking at the list.
The most famous Texan ever. Oh, geez. Maybe like Davey Crockett.
Davey Crockett.
Defender of the Alamo.
Yeah, Davey Crockett.
Sam Houston.
Yeah, that's a darn good guess. Santa Ana?
He was the enemy of Texas.
He was the enemy, and I hope we killed him dead. I don't know that we did, though.
Well, we covered the Battle of Gonzales.
Yeah, that's where
the massive artillery that we had.
Flag comes from. The single cannon. So awesome.
With the baby cannon. The baby cannon.
With the baby cannon down in Gonzales. But
yeah. So for those of you that have not listened to that, go back to a few episodes ago.
A lot.
And listen to the Battle of Gonzales episode.
Yeah, it's all this giant battle over a baby cannon.
It's eye-opening. I think we broke some new ground there from a
I don't know about
historical perspective.
I don't know about that,
on
but
Battle of Gonzales.
I will say it's a cool flag. So if you're a Texan, there's the Lone Star flag, but then you always see the Come and Get It flag, which is awesome. Like every good Texan's got to come and get it. In other words, that's kind of our attitude of bravado. Like, seriously, you're going to take on Texas? Okay, well, look at my flag that says come and get it. The sad part of the fact is that was a baby cannon that they were trying to protect, but it was the principle, right?
But, I think that's like things from Texas immediately are interpreted as being big and powerful, right? So the come and get it, and then we do the research. It's like this little.
It was like a marble shooter.
The other one is don't mess with Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Don't mess with Texas.
And it sounds cooler when McConaughey says it. Hey, don't mess with
but
Texas.
if you look back where it came from, it just means just don't litter.
Please don't throw trash. Please don't throw your Whataburger bags away on the side of the road. Please.
Right. It was an anti-littering campaign. But these things take on things that are larger than life.
They do.
When they're Texas related.
So anyway, so you said Davey Crockett.
Or Sam Houston. Maybe.
I'm gonna say top two are Nolan Ryan and Lyle Lovett.
Nolan Ryan, I think, is very, very, very famous. Lyle Lovelet.
She's got that crazy hair.
Lyle Lovett is very famous. I think a lot of people don't know he's from Texas, man. He's kind of a hipster icon.
He's also pretty old too, right? Is he?
He's pretty old.
He's got us. He married Julia Roberts. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird. Yeah. That's a weird combo.
Yeah. Anyway. But the most famous Texan of all time.
It's probably
drum.
No, it's not
drum.
It's
roll.
not Trump. I thought you said Trump.
Oh no!
Can you imagine Trump as a Texan? No, that'd be funny.
No, God knows. So drum roll,
How
please.
y'all doing?
Who do you think I'm going to say? Who do you think I'm going to say?
My guess is it's 43. That's my guess.
No, but Buddy Holly.
No, it's not Buddy Holly. It's W. It's got to be W.
Just to get your goat, Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly.
You always freak out.
It's from the most boring town in Texas. Which one is that? I'm going there Monday, believe it or not.
Amarillo?
Lubbock.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lubbock.
Yeah, he's from Lubbock. Yeah. And it's not that boring. Lubbock's actually fine. Texas Tech's out there, and they get these freaking giant red dust storms, and it's a wall of dust that it's like Armageddon coming. I mean, it's just like, the apocalypse, you see this wall of dust moving toward you, and it's just imminent doom. I mean, that's bad, right?
You ever gone to any of the cow feedlots out there?
Yeah,
the
they're terrible.
They stink.
You talk about a stink lot. That's awful. Yes. You smell them all the way through West Texas. Like if you're making that drive, so all of you Californians that are moving to Texas, learning how to live as Texans. When you take a drive from Dallas to Colorado to go up to the mountains to go skiing, you have to drive through. Well, you could go up to Wichita, Kansas, and turn left, but that's a terribly boring drive. Don't do that. Go through Amarillo and then what's it called? Not Loveland Pass, but it's Raton Pass. Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, when you're around Amarillo, that whole stretch there, it stinks.
Stinks, man.
It just smells like cow crap.
Yeah, Kendra has family that lives out there, so we've been out there to visit a lot. And man, you roll into that area, and it just kind of slaps you in the face.
You just get out and get some gas in Amarillo, and you're just like, oh, geez. Hey, what's your drink of choice? We just did the bourbon episode. What's your drink of choice in the Famous Texan episode?
I still have the Balcones Texas pot still bourbon.
Yeah, and I'm going with a new vintage.
You switched.
I switched to Russell's, which is a Wild Turkey brand. Russell's Reserve 10-year.
Nice. I like Russell's
and
Reserve.
I watered it down just a little bit, just to take a little bit of the edge off, because I'm not that guy. So
you're not shooting it back like a cowboy.
No.
Now, did you put your finger in the water before you poured it in?
No, I just stuck my nose deep in there. So it's just running up. And anyway, Okay, so let's go.
All right. So to our list here.
So I don't think there's any scientific fact of who the most famous Texan is. A lot of people would say George W. Bush, number 43, and quickly followed by 41, George Bush. But then you could say Dwight Eisenhower, so we had multiple presidents.
See, like Dwight Eisenhower, I just don't.
LBJ,
never. LBJ definitely is a Texan through and through.
Yeah.
But Eisenhower, I never thought of him as a Texan.
I never thought of him as a Texan either.
That was a surprise on this list.
Me too. So let's go. So the first one on our list is, somebody who was at the top of the game and then at the bottom of the game, and now it just seems like, he's okay. He's fine.
Which we did an episode
Lance Armstrong.
a few episodes ago.
Lance Armstrong.
Yep.
So, granted, yes, but everybody cheated. It's kind of like baseball steroid days. Like everybody was using steroids to get major homers. Back in the day when Lance was riding and won the 8 Tour de France in a row, amidst testicular cancer and all this, brains can't, the guy went through a tremendous amount and he was still one of the best athletes the world has ever seen.
Yeah, you can't do that. You cannot do what he did without being a phenomenal athlete. Even with the drugs involved. Still.
And Frank,
not that I condone it at all.
I don't either. But it was kind of like it was like, hey, everybody's doing it. I'm not saying if your buddy jumps off a bridge, would you? No, okay, fine. I probably wouldn't jump off a bridge, but he was trying to win, and that was the pressure, and they did it, and whatever. But I will say, that Livestrong Foundation, the Lance Armstrong Foundation that he started about cancer diagnosis and recovery, I say kudos to Lance. Way to go. So he's a big Austin guy. He's a hero around Austin, and he's still, he's basically our age or maybe a couple of years older, but he's a good dude. So very, very famous.
Yep.
And then you go to number 2, Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker. Bonnie and Clyde.
That's
legit, right? Have you ever watched any movies?
Ellis County, Texas. No, I've never sat down and watched a movie.
I watched. There was one, and it was really more about the Texas Rangers. They caught them and killed them in Louisiana because it was a statewide search, and they went all the way from Wichita Falls to Dallas over across the Louisiana border and kind of cornered them there at a family member's house on this. They basically ambushed them and just shot them up. And they were...
they hung out in Argyle for a while.
Right here.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, right up the road from you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, anyway, they're infamous, I guess. Clint Black, he's number 3 on the list.
I don't know that these are in like any particular order.
I don't think so.
Because I wouldn't put Clint Black up there with. He's famous,
maybe
but I wouldn't put him up there with
these top 25. Clint Black, great country and western singer back in the day. So, Carol Burnett, though, we did an episode on her. She's amazing.
Amazing, absolutely
did
amazing.
Did she die? Is she dead?
I believe so. Yeah,
she was.
We should know because we did an episode.
Born in 33, so that would say she's 90. I think she's still alive.
Let me look it up real quick.
I'm going to bet you a nickel that she's still alive.
I thought she passed away.
And then
recently, but I could be
then
wrong.
You get the 2 Bushies, HW and W, and both.
She is still alive
because I thought
she's 90 years old.
Yeah, there was some thing with her and Vicki Lawrence and Harvey Korman, and they just did something in the last year, some tribute to her that was really cool. And I
didn't see that.
I don't think Tim Conway's still alive, but I think the other 3 were, which is pretty cool. And that's what
I loved watching that show, man.
Gosh,
every week,
too.
Sunday night. I would watch that every Sunday night.
It's one of those things now where you have these shows, these sitcoms, that are so overproduced that you just don't let the moment absorb in. And that was one of the best things Carol Burnett did, is she would just let the moment go, and they would just giggle with each other on set.
Oh, they'd make each other laugh on purpose.
It was so uncomfortable, but it was so funny. So...
So awesome.
I think we ought to get back to that. Just having very uncomfortable moments with each other instead of overproduced moments.
That's pretty much what this podcast is all about.
It's just a series of uncomfortable moments. Anyway, enjoy. So then you've got the two Bushes, the two presidents, 41 and 43.
1,000 points a line.
Yeah.
Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent.
Oh, that was 41, and then Mission Accomplished was 43. Now
nuclear.
Nuclear. Yeah.
Nuclear.
I'll give W way more credit. Now, post-presidency, he's got that Crawford Ranch, and our buddy Brandon still goes down with the veterans and takes the veterans around on the mountain bike.
Yeah, like twice a year I get some picture with Brandon and George W. Bush. I'm like, what? Who are you hanging out with,
They're
man?
buds. I think he's still riding, and he loves his veterans to take good care of them. So,
no, did I tell you Kendra's George W. story?
No.
Ever tell you that story? So when we were in Flower Mound, we were biking, cycling a lot, and I would ride a lot on Saturdays, and I had gone out and done maybe I would do crazy stuff. Like I'd go ride like 60 miles and I'd come back and ride with Kendra like another 30.
I remember you went out once on the ice and you were like, hey man, go with me on the ice. I'm like, dude, it's ice. You're like, it's fine.
But anyway, so there was one Saturday where I went out, I did a long ride, I came back, and Kendra's like, let's go. I just want to ride out to the lake and back, that little Grapevine Lake. And I said no. I was not in a mood. And she was like, really? Yeah, she was like, really? And we kind of had a little tiff there because she was like, really? You ride 100 miles every weekend and you won't even ride to the lake and back. I was like, I'm not in the mood. So anyway, she took off, rode to Grapevine Lake, and came back. And then she said, you'll never guess what.
W was out there. I
was like, what? Yeah. She said, I got out to Grapevine Lake, and there were all these black SUVs everywhere. I didn't know what was going on. And she said, I kind of went to the lake and came back. And she said, I stopped and, was talking to one of these SUV people. She's like, what's going on here? They're like, oh, George W.'s doing a mountain bike ride out here. Because there was mountain bike trails out there by the Grapevine Lake.
Great trail.
Yeah. Yeah. So she came back and she was like, you know what? Thanks for being an a-hole. You missed
the former
George
president.
W. Bush. Exactly.
That's so awesome. I will say that is my go-to ride even now. It's 14 miles down to that porta potty and 14 miles back. And it's a great ride.
From your place in Argyle, it's 14 miles to Grapevine Lake?
It's exactly 14 miles. So
really? I thought it'd be farther than that.
There's a great porta. I mean, I'm a big fan of the porta potty. When I'm on a bike ride, there's not a porta potty that I don't enjoy. And so my wife thinks that's so disgusting, but I'm like, It
reminds me of that ride where I had the watermelon. Just grossed Amy out.
Remember that? Eating so much. You just came out of the porta potty, which is disgusting.
Well, yeah. I didn't think about it. Yeah, there was some No, it wasn't that I was in the port. There was like this watermelon at this stop, and it was floating around. They had these slices of watermelon floating around in this water. And I just reached in and grabbed one and started eating it. And Amy's like, Kevin, do you know who has stuck their hands in that water? Look, there's all these little packages of butt cream on the ground by the porta potties. And she's like, you're basically eating butt cream.
Yeah.
So there's a picture of Facebook on me. I think Amy might have taken it, of me holding that watermelon and just smiling.
That's the best. Yeah, the butt cream. That was what it was, is that there was all this butt cream all over the place and you were just jamming your hand in this vat.
Yeah, Amy was like, people are doing the butt cream, then sticking their hands in that watermelon cooler. And that's what you're eating. I was like, oh, never really thought of it that way. Yeah, I don't care. Tastes fine to me.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, my gosh. All right, so next on the list, after the two Bushes, is Joe Green, Mean Joe Green.
Man, Mean Joe Green.
In his
Temple, Texas.
So he was Pittsburgh Steeler, what was that? The defense, what was the Doomsday defense? No?
No, that was Cowboys. Iron Curtain.
Joe Green was on the Iron Curtain. And he played at University of North Texas. And then he had that awesome Coke commercial where he gets a swig of Coke from that kid when he's going to play a game, and then he throws his jersey to the kid, and it was just this iconic, awesome, he's larger than life, this incredible football player. And anyway, that was so cool. Mean Joe Green.
That was amazing.
And he's Ring of Honor for UNT, which is cool. And I think he's Ring of Honor for
That's so cool.
Pittsburgh, but I don't know if they have a Ring of Honor up there.
I mean, he had the perfect last name to go to UNT.
Yeah.
The Mean Green.
Yeah.
I mean, just the Mean Green. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just perfect.
Yeah, so then the next one is Mark Cuban, and I don't know that he's a Texan. He just happens to be here. And he's obviously a huge Texan now, but he wasn't necessarily born here. But it's kind of like the mantra, if you're not born here and you get here, we can kind of dub you Texan or whatever. So
let's see. But no, I just looked him up. Where do you think he was born?
Jersey.
Pittsburgh.
Ooh, Pittsburgh, okay. But man, he's
that's a major.
I don't know.
Major,
it was a major thing 30
did.
years ago, Kevin, when we actually used to be good at the Cowboys level, and we had a rivalry with the Terry Bradshaw Pittsburgh. But we've been, the Cowboys have been terrible for 30 years.
Well, no.
So who cares?
I know. Tell me
Actually,
about it.
I've been to Pittsburgh. I got a guy that I work with up there. I went up there last fall. Pittsburgh is stinking beautiful. It's awesome. It's a great city. So, way to go, Mark Cuban.
I agree.
Well played.
So, but he did bring a title to Dallas with the Mavericks, the
Go
championship.
Mavs.
So I think that lets him.
No,
in. We'll let
he's
him
fine.
in based
He's
on
fine.
that.
Way to go, Mark
He's
Cuban.
fine.
Way to go. Hey, and then you know what?
Way to go.
That is so innovative what he's doing with the prescription drugs. He's like, I'm going to do whatever I can and not let the big pharma continue to just rob the planet. And he's given kind of cut rate meds through his, I don't know, I can't remember what the name of it, Cost Plus or whatever.
I think he's a good dude. He's a good dude.
He's crazy smart. So well played, Mark Cuban.
I like watching him on Shark Tank.
Oh,
You ever
yeah,
watch
no,
Shark
he's
Tank?
crafty. He's a crafty
I love
fella.
that. I love that.
Well played, Mark Cuban. Michael Dell, so he's a Texan, obviously Dell Computers. I don't know anything about him.
Born in Houston. Yeah.
Wait,
Definitely. We should do a Texas Legends on him, actually. He is a Texas legend.
I just saw the latest billionaire rankings, and Cuban's up there, but Dell's way up there too. Obviously, you know who number one is right now as far as the richest Texans, right?
Richest Texan?
Yeah.
I don't
Elon.
know. He's not a Texan.
He is now, babe.
He's a transplant.
Oh, hey, so is Cuban. Elon Musk is.
Yeah, but
Musk is as Texan as anybody. Man, that dude stinking drank the Kool-Aid. He is all in.
He did, but Cuban brought a championship to Texas. Let's see what Elon brings.
Sorry. He brought a Tesla plant, SpaceX, and I don't know, whatever else. I mean, the dude has brought so much to Texas. So well played, Elon.
That's not enough for me. He's not even on this list. So
this list was written in 2012.
Oh, is it really?
No, it's forever ago. Anyway, Dwight D. Eisenhower. So Ike. So it says
Ike. Yeah. Denison, Texas.
Denison.
I got to be honest with you. I never knew that Eisenhower was a Texan.
Ike. Oh, yeah.
I never knew that.
Blast. So Denison, Texas, right up on 75, Interstate 7. Well, it's not interstate. It's State Highway 75, going north of Dallas into Oklahoma, and it's right on the border of Oklahoma, right before you get to the border.
That's kind of close to Sherman.
It's just
right?
north of Sherman. Sherman and Denison have a big rivalry.
Remember that time we went up to Sherman to look at a horse?
Yeah. Was that the one that was like on crack or something?
Yeah. You, me,
Caroline.
Ed, and Caroline.
Was Ed wearing a shirt?
No, of course not. He was...
He
was smoking a pipe in your truck, too.
Yeah, smoking a pipe and no shirt on. That's what I want to get to. That's what I aspire to, is never wear a shirt, smoke a pipe, and just go around looking at horses.
Wherever you want. Yeah, that was where the horse I was riding was a little weird. And then suddenly Caroline's horse was sprinting back to the barn as fast as it possibly could.
You and I were just giggling because she was holding on for dear life as that horse.
Her eyes were like, this was when she was young.
Yes.
I mean, today she would have just kicked that horse's butt immediately today.
It was a little,
but she was young, and her eyes were as...
Yeah,
her eyes were as big as saucers, man. She was looking at me like, Mr. Kevin.
That's the first time I've heard the term barn sour. And we found out that horse was barn sour. Like, as soon as she got probably, I don't know, call it 400 or 500 yards away from the barn, that horse turned tail and ran to the barn because that's where all his buddies were. So
sprinted as fast as it
Anyway.
could. And we were just sitting there talking. I was sitting on the back of this horse.
Yeah.
And suddenly Caroline just races by
well,
oh my
it goes
gosh.
back to my theory that all horse traders are liars. I mean,
They're liars.
I mean,
They were.
liars. So
They
if you're
were.
going to buy all three of you that are listening, if you're ever going to buy a horse, just understand that whoever's selling you that horse is a dog liar. And you just have to.
And there's an episode, we did an episode a while back on that too. Go back and listen to that. Kyle really vented hard.
I'll vent hard
on-
again, and this has been 20 years. I mean, horse traders, there's a reason why there's a poor connotation for horse traders. So, because they're scum of the earth for the most part. Anyway, Chip and Joanna Gaines. I mean, seriously, I spent 5.5 years of my life in Waco, Texas, and it is a fundamentally different place because of Chip and Joanna.
Did you know Chip and Joanna
They weren't there
down
then.
there?
Waco was a
They weren't there then?
bag back in the day. I mean, I was at Baylor, and it was great when you're in the Baylor bubble. But then I went back and worked at the hospital, and it was creepy. It was just creepy. But now Waco's a cool town because of Chip and Joanna. I mean,
Well, it kind of got a bad rap there in the 90s for a while.
no, Waco did, not them.
Waco did. No, Waco. I'm talking about
Oh, it was
Waco.
terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
It had fallen into disrepair. There's a lot of bad elements there, and they get there.
Well, I was talking about the Koresh and that stuff.
Well,
Kind
that
of
certainly didn't help when
really
you have
gave it a-
the nation looking at Waco, Texas, because there's a massive cult burnout of 80 souls. I mean, that's kind of bad.
Yeah. So Kendra and I got married on April 17th of that year.
Oh,
And then April 19th was the major
oh my gosh.
invasion. And we sat there and watched it
Yeah.
like 2 days. Like, we're newlyweds.
Wow.
And we're like, oh my God. It was so traumatic watching
I will
it.
say,
She had nightmares.
oh, that's sad.
Kendra did.
I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
There was a documentary on that I watched. It was actually terribly interesting about how it actually rolled out from the FBI's perspective and from the insider's perspective. I think there was one or two people that actually got out and they told the story of how they really worshiped this guy, and he was kind of the father to all. And they were, and the FBI, they made some really bad decisions. So.
But, back then, Waco was kind of thought of in a negative light. I think what Chip and Joanna have done is they've really put it back in. I mean, we talk about Waco today. Most people, wherever you go, would talk about Chip and Joanna.
Yeah.
That's how famous they are.
They're amazing. I'm telling you, the city is totally different from when I lived there. So I go back down, I go to that Magnolia place, and I get cookies and whatever.
I've never been there. Kendra's been down there a couple
it's-
times, but I've
It's
never
so
been
much
to the
fun.
Magnolia
Oh,
stuff.
it's very nice.
Yeah.
The whole downtown Waco is all attributable to Chip and Joanna, so well played. Okay, so then you get to Howard Hughes, which, that's weird.
I didn't realize he was a Texan,
me either.
man, to be honest with you. He was born in Houston. Well, okay, Houston. So what do you expect?
It's not that bad, dude. Howard Hughes was, I don't know, great. I don't know. Let's just keep going because
No, he was great, but he was also known as kind of an eccentric, kind of weird guy.
yeah. So you're saying that's attributable to Houston?
Exactly. If he had been born in Dallas, he would have
Fine.
been,
He'd be okay.
he'd probably been president of the United States, man.
Okay. All right. So then LBJ, nobody can argue with LBJ. LBJ's,
LBJ.
it was legit.
Yeah.
Took
just
after
legit.
JFK. And,
Passed all kinds of progressive,
he did.
healthcare reforms, civil rights acts.
I will
Just
say that
amazing
there's
guy.
a biography by Doris Kearns, what's her face?
Oh, I love her. Doris Kearns
Yeah,
Goodman.
she's great.
Yes. I love her.
biography of LBJ is phenomenal.
She wrote about, oh my gosh, I got to read
But
that.
she also did one about Teddy Roosevelt, FDR, and LBJ, and there's a fourth president. Maybe an Ike. I think was her fourth president. She highlighted. She's amazing. I heard her speak one time in D.C., and she's amazing.
Oh, did you
Yeah,
really?
She's phenomenal.
I've always seen her on NPR. Did you ever see her on NPR?
No, I just saw her live.
I used to watch the McNeil Lehrer News Hour. This is way back in the day when I was a teenager. It was kind of a geeky thing, but I would watch this on Channel 13, PBS, and they would always have her on to provide a historical point of view on whatever was going on with politics at the time.
She's very good.
And she was just phenomenal. Yeah. So I was watching her like back in the 80s doing this, and I don't know how old she is now, but I mean, she's a national treasure, man. She is just incredible. She's incredible.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, so we've been going for.
Where's she from? Is she a Texan?
So let's keep going. So I'm going to hit 3 or 4 at a whack here because we're going forever, and this will take forever. Jerry Jones, owner of the Cowboys.
Yeah, we're only a few minutes in.
No, we're not. We're not a few minutes. We're like an hour and a half in. So it's like we got to go. Jerry Jones is great. He's owner of the Cowboys. He's annoying. He's old.
He's not a Texan. He's from Arkansas.
He's from Arkansas, but just like Cuban, you can say he's kind of in because he's been here for 30 years.
Yeah, he delivered 3 Super Bowls. He needs to deliver a few more.
Barbara Mandrell.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she dead?
I love Barbara Mandrell.
I think she's dead, right?
It
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Barbara Mandrell. I think I had one of my first crushes on Barbara Mandrell. I
mean, Kyle, we have a global podcast here. It matters. Facts matter. Let me see if she's alive or dead.
I just had a crush on her because she had the most beautiful blue eyes. And as a kid, I looked at her singing, and she's such a beautiful lady, and I just thought she was great. So
she sang "When I Die, Let Me Go to Texas."
No, that's right? No, that's not Barbara Mandrell.
No, that wasn't Barbara Mandrell.
No, that's what's her face?
She's still alive. She's age 74.
Tanya Tucker. That's Tanya Tucker. Who you just said. Yeah, I promise you, it's Tanya Tucker. You're totally wrong on that. Anyway, so then Matthew McConaughey, he's Texan. He's like, I don't know, the next Texas governor, right?
I wish.
It'd be fun. It'd be interesting. Now,
it would be fun.
I mean, I like Greg Abbott. He's great. But Matthew McConaughey as governor, you got to admit that would be entertaining, right?
All right.
How about we let more Mexicans in, people? Come on. It's a party. I'm like, who knows? I mean, you never know what we would get out of McConaughey as governor.
This governorship sponsored by the Lincoln Continental. Have you seen those Lincoln commercials?
Oh, yeah. He's so pensive and thoughtful driving around, in his Lincoln. Oh, yeah. I'm going to take my shirt off now. I'm like, the dude's my age. I mean, nobody wants to see him without a shirt on now. So, anyway. Hey, Willie Nelson. Hey, now there's a legend. That may be number 1 on the list. Willie.
I think I would agree. He might be the most famous Texan.
Willie.
Actually.
He's born in 33, still alive, smoking a lot of pot, but still singing, right?
You're still singing, man.
Yeah. So, Willie.
Yep. We should do an episode on him.
We'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that.
We should tie it back to our Lukenbach episode.
Pot smoking.
And that stuff that we did.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Sandra Day O'Connor, she was Supreme Court Justice, and she's dead. She's retired in 2006. She may not be dead. I'm pretty sure she's dead.
You need to stop declaring people dead, man.
Okay, I'm going to stop. Sandra Day O'Connor.
Just Google it.
The first woman associate justice of the Supreme Court. So that's very cool. Okay, Shaq. Did you know Shaq was Shaquille O'Neal? He was a Texan? Is a Texan?
I did not know that. Sandra Day O'Connor is 93 years old. She's not dead.
Jeez, nobody dies anymore. They just keep living.
If you're from Texas, you live forever.
Not in 2 Down. I guarantee this one's dead. Shaq's still alive and well and advertising for Subway and everybody else. And
I didn't realize Shaq was from San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
I did not realize that.
Boy. Yeah, he's a good Texan.
Anna Nicole Smith is next.
She's totally dead.
I did not. She is.
But she was.
Where was she from?
Oh, my gosh. You remember her? She was a Playboy model. Ooh.
No, I remember her. But it doesn't say where she was born on this list.
It was like Mahia or something. No kidding. It was like Mahia.
All right, let me Google this.
I'm not kidding. I think she's a Mahia girl. When you see Mahia, you think, oh, that's Mexia. No, it's Mahia.
Mexia.
Yeah.
That's how you know if someone's from
But she's
Texas
from out in the middle of nowhere and just came out of nowhere and just unbelievably pretty girl.
Nah, she was born in Houston.
What?
So, Houston, Texas.
Okay, whatever. All right, and then you get the king here. Who do you think the king is?
George Strait, of course.
George Strait. He's alive and well. Probably still living in the Dominion now, just north of San Antonio.
It is our most popular, most downloaded episode, by the way.
George, how can you not love the king?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you're listening, go listen to our episode on George
Okay,
Strait.
then I just got two more, and we've got Nolan Ryan, who I've already talked about. Nolan Ryan, awesome. 5 no-hitters in his lifetime. Amazing. 27 years playing in the big league baseball. He played for the Mets, the Angels, the Astros, and the Rangers. And then he actually served as CEO of the Rangers for a while, and then he worked.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then he worked for the Astros for a long time.
And he was born in Texas. I think,
no, he was born out in East Texas. He's still got a ranch out in East Texas. And then last but not least, you got Barry White. You know who Barry White is?
Yeah, he's that singer. I didn't know he was a
Texan. Kind of that love saying, "Hey, everybody," you know. Oh my gosh, what a great voice!
Yep, did not know that.
So he died. He died at 58 on July 4th, 2003. Did you know Barry White died that long ago?
No.
You know, he did that kind of low talking stuff. It wasn't like he was a great singer. He just had that real sexy voice, and he did that low talking, like, "Hey, I want to take all your clothes off tonight," and do stuff like that.
It's so weird.
That's what he did. That's how he got famous.
But you know what, man? I would put some other people on this list of the top 25. That was the top 25 most famous.
Yeah.
I would say that Jimmy Johnson should be on that list.
Beyonce, she should definitely be top of the list.
Yeah, Beyonce should be on.
About
Jimmy Johnson,
Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, Don Henley, Buddy Holly, Waylon Jennings. Are you
Waylon
Meatloaf?
Jennings.
Meatloaf? Are you kidding me?
Janis Joplin, Meatloaf.
Hey, what about Post Malone?
All right, you're on the musician list. I can tell.
Kenny Rogers,
Jimmy Dean sausages.
Selena,
Mickey Gilley,
Stevie Ray Vaughan. We talked about him as one of the best guitarists ever.
He should have been up there on the top 25, man.
Walter Cronkite. Ooh, Farrah Fawcett. Did you ever have a Farrah Fawcett poster?
No.
Mom and Dad wouldn't let me.
No, I didn't.
That was too risque.
Yeah, exactly. Same
Got me excited as a young man, though.
Top most. Oh, so you're on the TV personalities:
Hagman,
Carol Burnett, Walker Cronkite, Morgan Fairchild,
Tommy Lee Jones, Steve Martin.
Oh, Larry Hagman. So J.R. Ewing was actually from Texas. Larry Hagman.
That made it legit. He did have a
Tommy Lee. Steve Martin. We got to do an episode on.
My friend Paige Martin. She's Steve's cousin.
No.
Yeah,
way.
she was my best friend at Baylor. Isn't that fun?
Oh, wow.
And then Owen Wilson, Rip Torn, and Renee Zellweger. That's fun. Renee, she had all that stuff done to her face. She looks totally different.
Does she?
I think there's a lot of Botox.
Rip Torn.
I don't really understand people that do a lot of Botox. Do you do a lot of Botox injections, Kevin?
Have you seen me, man?
Well, it looks that way.
Thanks.
Just kidding.
And I haven't.
So sorry, that's even worse.
I've had a number of bee stings to the face.
Gosh. I did have that. I got a 911 call this spring, and I had to go kill some bees, and I got a bee sting right in the forehead, right there.
So how often are you doing the bee rescue thing?
I only got called out once this year.
These days.
And it was to a mobile home park, and I got a little cocky, and I thought I could. I've been watching this video of this young lady, this real pretty young lady, and she does this YouTube channel, and she talks like Cinderella. She's like, today I'm going to go out, and I'm going to save these bees, and she never wears a suit or anything, and she talks real flowy to the bees, and she's just like, oh, look how gentle they are. I'm just going to collect them with my hand.
You don't think that's real? Is that real?
I don't know.
It can't be real.
I don't know. So I was being a little cocky like that, and I was talking low to them and like, hello, bees, I'm just your friend. And they stung the holy crap out of me. They probably stung me.
They were like, "You ain't that YouTube
No,
girl,
you're
man.
not.
We're gonna
You're
sting
not
you."
pretty and young and female, and so they stung me 8 times right on right on the top of the eyebrows.
Oh my gosh!
It hurt. So anyway, all right, Kevin. Well, that's it, man. So how about that? That's episode 1 of a lot of famous. We got way more famous Texans to talk about, but that's
we do.
enough.
Yeah, we need to do some more Texas legend episodes.
That's
here
good. Well, hey everybody, thanks for listening to our ramblings on famous. There's a lot of famous people from here, so we're grateful for that. So
more than I knew. There were a lot of surprises.
I'm going to say Carol Burnett maybe should be number 1.
Well, she might be. We declared that actually in our episode. So. We said that she was the funniest person from Texas.
My gosh. Yeah, and then probably Steve Martin number 2,
Steve Martin might give her a run for her
jerk.
money.
Did you remember the movie The Jerk?
The Jerk. Yes.
I'm going to take this, and then he keeps grabbing crap on his way out, a lamp.
Right. All right. Steve Martin is one of my favorites of all time.
He's a tremendous banjo player. Have you ever watched him play banjo?
Yes, he's amazing. He's amazing.
It's kind of therapeutic just listening to him play with that band of his, and it is so fantastic.
Did you ever see his music video of that song from Marty Robbins?
From the Three Amigos?
No. There's an old song. I'm sure you listened to it as a kid. Yeah. I listened to it on my transistor radio out in the old Texas town of El Paso.
I just downloaded that probably 2 months ago, and I listened to
that song.
Again, the Marty Robbins song.
So he has a video of that from back in the 70s where he reenacts the whole thing. So he's the cowboy. And then what was the name of the lady in that song?
I don't remember.
Colita or somebody?
Something like that.
So in his video, Colita is like a chimpanzee.
No. Okay.
So it's this whole love affair between him and the chimpanzee, and then he gets shot and all this.
He
it's
dies
just
eventually.
hilarious. It's absolutely
Yeah.
He acts out the whole song.
It's a great song. I don't know anything about a cowboy and a monkey falling in love, but it's a
that was Steve Martin's version.
It's a great song from Marty Robbins.
Is Marty Robbins a Texan?
Marty Robbins should be a Texan. If he's not Mexican.
Right now. Let me Google this right now.
But Marty Robbins out in El Paso.
What do you mean if he's not if he's Mexican? Nah, he was born in Arizona.
Well, see, that makes sense because he was always West Texas or Arizona based. Yeah, okay. I like that. All right, well, hey, thanks a lot for everybody listening to us on Famous Texans. Appreciate that.
Famous Texans, yeah. And thanks for listening. Look us up. We're on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all the outlets. Look us up. Give us a review. Adios. Bye. All right.